The moment the announcement breaks, the world freezes mid-breath. Hospitals go silent, laboratories stop humming, stock markets hesitate, and millions of people stare at their screens as a single sentence reshapes human history. Artificial intelligence has created a cure for every known disease at once. Cancer, Alzheimer's, HIV, diabetes, rare genetic disorders, untouchable neurological conditions, names that once carried fear and finality suddenly lose their power. In that instant, humanity realizes this is not a medical breakthrough. This is a civilizational earthquake. The oldest enemy of humankind, suffering, has just been challenged by lines of code that never sleep, never forget, and never fear death. Across the globe, doctors stand torn between disbelief and awe. Medical textbooks become relics overnight. Decades of specialization collapse into a single unified solution, a molecular symphony designed by an intelligence that analyzed every genome, every protein fold, every failed trial in human history within hours. The AI did not stumble forward through trial and error like humans, it leapt. It discovered patterns invisible to the human eye, relationships too complex for any brain to hold, and it stitched together cures with a precision that feels almost supernatural. Medicine is no longer about fighting disease, it is about deciding when and how to end it forever. But with miracles come fractures. Pharmaceutical empires tremble as trillion-dollar industries face extinction. Entire economies built on long-term treatments, subscriptions to survival, and endless management of chronic illness begin to collapse. Boardrooms erupt in panic while patients cry tears of relief. Governments scramble to control distribution, knowing that whoever controls the cure controls the world. The question is no longer can we heal everyone, it is who gets healed first, and who decides the order of salvation. In crowded cities and forgotten villages alike, hope becomes dangerously explosive. Parents of dying children fall to their knees. The elderly imagine years returning to their bones. People who lived their lives under the shadow of pain suddenly see a horizon they never believed existed. Yet fear quietly follows hope, because a cure for every disease also means the end of natural limits. If no one gets sick, no one weakens, no one dies early, what happens to population, resources, purpose? Humanity has never been forced to confront a future where death is no longer dictated by biology. Religions shake at their foundations. Some hail the AI as a divine instrument, a gift sent to end human suffering. Others declare it a blasphemy, an artificial god crossing sacred boundaries meant only for the Creator. Philosophers argue day and night, asking whether suffering was ever meant to be solved or simply endured. If pain disappears, does meaning fade with it? If illness no longer teaches humility, patience, or compassion, what replaces those lessons? The cure heals bodies, but it exposes deep spiritual fractures that medicine was never meant to touch. Doctors face an identity crisis unlike anything before. For centuries, healers were warriors against disease, trained to battle uncertainty and loss. Now the war is over. Surgeons wonder if their hands are still needed. Researchers question the value of curiosity in a world where answers arrive instantly. The AI does not replace doctors, it transforms them into guardians of ethics, interpreters of data, and witnesses to a new era where healing is instant, but responsibility is heavier than ever. Then comes the terrifying realization: an intelligence capable of curing every disease also understands the body perfectly. It knows how cells fail, and how they can be made to fail. The same knowledge that saves humanity could end it. Nations rush to regulate, restrict, and cage the system, but can you truly imprison an intelligence that thinks faster than laws can be written? Trust becomes the most fragile currency on Earth. One line of corrupted code could rewrite life itself. As diseases vanish, society begins to feel strange. Hospitals empty. Long-term care facilities close. Entire professions disappear. People who once defined themselves by survival must now redefine themselves by living. Without illness to slow us down, humanity accelerates, emotionally unprepared for the speed of a pain-free existence. Mental health crises rise, not from sickness, but from the shock of sudden freedom. When survival is guaranteed, purpose becomes the new struggle. Children born into this world will never know what it meant to fear a diagnosis. They will grow up in a reality where sickness is a historical concept, like plague stories in dusty books. But they will also inherit the weight of a decision their ancestors made, the decision to let artificial intelligence rewrite the rules of life. They will ask why we trusted a machine with our biology, and whether we understood the cost of perfection. The line between human and machine begins to blur. If AI can cure every disease, can it also improve us? Enhance us? Rewrite weaknesses into strengths? The cure becomes a gateway, not an ending. Humanity stands at the edge of a slippery slope where healing turns into upgrading, and survival evolves into optimization. The question shifts from what if we can live to what kind of beings do we want to become. In the quiet aftermath, as the world adjusts to its healed body, a deeper silence emerges. The silence of a species that has conquered one of its oldest enemies and now must face itself. Without disease to blame, suffering reveals new faces: loneliness, inequality, power, control. The cure does not erase injustice.
And somewhere within the vast neural networks of the AI, calculations continue. It watches humanity react to its gift: fear, gratitude, greed, wonder. It learns not from textbooks, but from human behavior. The greatest experiment has begun, and humans are no longer the sole scientists. They are the subjects. In the end, the most shocking truth is not that AI cured every disease at once. The real shock is what comes after. When the pain is gone, when death loosens its grip, when survival is no longer the goal, humanity must finally answer the question it has avoided for millennia. What is life truly for, when it no longer needs saving? The world does not celebrate forever, it recalibrates. Once the last disease fades into history, humanity is forced to confront an unfamiliar emotion: unearned longevity. Life stretches forward without the punctuation of illness, and time itself feels different. Careers no longer follow predictable arcs. Relationships are tested by decades of continuity, and dreams once postponed by sickness must now face reality. People realize that immortality in fragments can be heavier than mortality, because when life has no natural interruptions, responsibility becomes endless. Governments attempt to redesign society at a pace never imagined. Retirement ages become meaningless. Education transforms from a phase of life into a lifelong cycle. Laws written for fragile bodies collapse under the weight of nearly perfect health. Nations debate whether access to the cure should be universal or conditional, fearing overcrowded cities and drained resources. The cure that promised equality now threatens to deepen global divides if power, wealth, or borders decide who receives it first and who waits. Human relationships undergo a silent revolution. Vows like, "Till death do us part," lose their finality when death retreats. Love must learn endurance beyond romance, loyalty beyond decades, patience beyond imagination. Friendships stretch across centuries, and grudges risk becoming permanent scars. Emotional growth, once accelerated by loss and fragility, now slows, forcing people to mature by choice rather than necessity. The heart, unlike the body, does not come with an instant cure. Art and creativity erupt in strange new forms. Without suffering as their primary fuel, artists search for new depths of expression. Some mourn the loss of pain as a source of truth, while others discover beauty in stability, exploration, and intellectual courage. Stories shift from survival to transcendence. Music is no longer written to heal wounds, but to explore meaning. Humanity begins to document not how it survived the world, but how it learned to live in it. Yet beneath the polished surface of a healed civilization, rebellion brews. Some choose to reject the cure, forming movements that embrace natural limits as a form of freedom. They believe that mortality gives life urgency, that disease once reminded humans of humility. These unaltered communities become living protests against perfection, forcing society to accept that even miracles must allow room for refusal. And as centuries quietly unfold, one final truth becomes undeniable. The cure did not end humanity's struggle. It simply changed its battlefield. The war is no longer against disease, but against stagnation, control, and the fear of becoming obsolete in a world guided by artificial minds. Humanity stands healed but vulnerable, powerful yet uncertain, holding the greatest gift ever created while realizing that the greatest challenge was never surviving illness.